Welcome to Black Sea.
Yeah, it's a bit of both. Something you can kick back to listen to.
Listen, if you guys want to talk, I ring ABC to handle.
You know how it is, man, and shit. TMB the driver, man. You know, girl problems, man. Y'all, shit, that's fire, brother. That's, you know what I mean. We having girl problems out here, man. But what's up, man? You know, this is just another, solo episode, man. Trying to get to fill y'all in a little bit, about DUT a little bit, you know what I mean, and how it literally, how I overcame things, and how I overcome things, and how I look at things now in life, sort of, you know what I mean. So after my last episode of talking about, my life of going into jail and things like that, and I want to continue from there, and I'm gonna go from getting out of jail. And I literally want to talk to you guys today, about, my first true love, my first true love. And that came after I got out of jail, so the in between of that, because, it's crazy living myself of like, the first time I, even fell in love with a black woman, because when I first came to Australia out here, it was crazy. I was literally, I loved white women, and, because there was no black women, so I was just, white women was just, I was surrounded by white women, and white women showed me, love back then, I was different. But it all, because like, when we came to Australia, especially growing up, 1996, we moved to Toowoomba, and then 2000 moved to Canberra, and there was no black people, we were always the first black people where we were, there was, imagine being the only black kid in your whole school, and things like that. So, there was no black people whatsoever. It's like you look at every yearbook or, school books, you just have this black kid, if it wasn't for my brothers, what I mean, in the high schools, and, that being, the only family members in that, but, there was no, you just this. So it was something to adapting to, and adapting to that, and it was just having this culture. And as a kid, it's just like you don't understand no racism or nothing like that. You know what I mean? It's just you just kids just accept you for just if you play the same sport, you do the same things. You're a runner, you're this, and we were just very athletics. We just wanted to play every single sport. So it's like kids, loved it. They show us love. So it's like, and then I moved to Canberra, and there was no black people anyway, and so after I got out of jail, there was, I had family members, and, there's black people, so we had a black community now, and so back then I was not really hanging out with my community and my people, because it's like, my cousins and that, they were fresh, and when Sudanese are fresh, when they, when we first arrived to Australia or to a new country, it's like we very, keep to ourselves and just observing. You know what I mean? It's like, so, I mean, they weren't niggas yet, they weren't doing what I was doing or, or whatsoever, you know what I mean? They were just, at home, talking our cultural language. And, I was out there, me talking like, yo, nigga, what's up, nigga? Nah, I'm about to go get a drink, go have a smoke. Man, about to go do this, do that. You know what I mean? So I knew like our conversation was different, for me and them at that time. And so it was like, so that's why it took a while for me, to start hanging out with my people and culture, So after a while, that time after I got out of jail, started hanging out with my cousin, they became niggas now, so we were drinking, we were chilling. It's like, oh, it's shit, you know what I mean? So, we had this, for about a year, we just, about a year, 9 months, almost a year. You know what I mean? So we chilling there, you know, we hanging, drinking, going to like community parties. And back then was, you know, my mom was the one that used to throw like all the community parties, you know, for where we was at, you know, because everybody was fresh back then. You know, she was the one bringing in a lot of people. And that, so she used to throw all the community party, you know, a lot of, you know, parties, gatherings, food. So, you know, at that then, you know, that's when, you know, niggas be going to the car park, getting lit behind, you know what I mean, and then coming into the hall and that. So I'm sure a lot of y'all remember like them hall parties and, you know, things, you know, niggas started, you know, adapting and, you know, start doing their own freaking hall parties and things like that, you know, when I came to Brisbane and shit. But, you know, this is back in Canberra, you know what I mean, at first. So we were having them, and the black girls that I used to go try to holler, you know, I'll be sitting there like, yo, this girl fine. And, she, you know, so I'll try to go talk to him, right? And then next minute it's like, she, you know, she's like, hey, dude, I'm your auntie, or, you know what I mean, I'm your cousin. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? And shit, you know what I mean? So I trip out, like, oh, okay. So, you know, start making a joke out of it, get out of it. And it happened a lot to a lot of girls that I'll try to, you know, holler with somehow related to me, you know, and it was like, fuck. You know, it was a bit, you know, it was like, damn. So I started looking all Sudanese women, all Sudanese girls. Is like, you know, after that for a long, just started looking at them as like my sisters. You know what I mean? It's just like, so I stopped going to that things for a while. You know, started going back to my whites, you know, to my white girls, and you know, start doing me and shit. And then, you know, and then one day anyway, I was hanging, you know, with my niggas, you know, we started going, oh man, let's get out of here. Let's, you know, let's go to the club, let's go, you know, hang out with, you know, let's go do this. And then one day I'm chilling with my niggas, right? And I get a text, you know. I get a text. And it's from a homegirl. You know what I mean? I didn't know who it was for a minute. It's like, yo, I'm finally 18 and shit, you know what I mean? Come to my party. And I didn't know who it was. You know, I'm just like, what the fuck? So I called the phone. And it's like, you know, and so first was like, hey, it's Jidin. And I'm like, nah, I hung up and I started tripping. I'm like, Jidin. I'm like, sis. I'm like, homegirl. I'm like, nah. I started tripping out. I'm like, nah, this can't be a Jidin. I sent a message back. I'm like, this is Jidin. It's like, yeah, he was turning 18 and shit. Come up on. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. You know, so I'm like, oh shit. So like, oh boys, man, like I gotta go. You know, I gotta go to Toowoomba, man. You know what I mean? It's like sis' fucking 18th birthday and shit, man. You know what I mean? So I was so excited. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm going to Toowoomba. You know, so you know how, you know, back then, you know, when niggas packed to go somewhere for like, you know, a week, you know, is you have like probably like 3 jeans and shit, you know what I mean? A couple of tees and shit, you know what I mean? It's like you going quick because, you know, you just planning to buying something, buying a t-shirt for like $4 or like, you know, Big W or Kmart or something, you know what I mean? Then white tees, black tees. But, you know what I mean? So I can't just, you know, with a little backpack, you know what I mean? 2 pairs of kicks, you know? So it's like, came down Toowoomba, right? And then went to see no girl, you know what I mean? What's up? And then it was her birthday. Right, and it was a birthday party. It was in the Toowoomba Hall. You know what I mean? At this time back then, you know what I mean, nigga, I was fresh, you know what I mean? I was dressing like I had a red vocal back on Nelly shit, you know what I mean? Back then shit, white tee inside, you know what I mean? White pants, you know what I mean? The Air Forces, you know what I mean? I had my special cologne. I can't tell you what it is because y'all gonna smell it every time you see me. So I'm not gonna tell y'all because I just giving y'all the secrets. But I was wearing that, you know what I mean? I was looking fresh. I was looking pimp, right? So I went down with my boy, actually. I came down with my boy, you know what I mean? Shout out to David Tonga, man, you know what I mean? That's my dog. So I came down with my boy. You know, supposed to come for the night, you know what I mean? Go back to Brisbane the next day and see, you know what I mean? Because I was staying down at his house in Brisbane. So came down in Brisbane and then drove down with my homeboy and went to the party, right? And it's like, you know, At first, when, back then, niggas parties, it's like you need to come a bit late because, whatever, when they say it's starting at 9, rock up at 11, because African time, man, we really need to work on that because we really need to work on that. Y'all know that's a damn problem, man. Literally, y'all late your own damn funerals. That's a fact. You know what I mean? No shining shades, but it is. So in a kind of way, but at that time, like, you know how niggas would be, in the car park, homies, everybody in, different groups in their own shit in the car, everybody got their own liquor. So, I'll be going back. Anyway, it was just me and mom at that time. You know what I mean? I'll be going back in his car, drinking this shit. And then I was with my cousin, right? My cousins were there at the party, so I came down to Tumba. So I'm gonna come and stay with them for the night. You know what I mean? My boys gonna stay down there with us. So the girls, man, shout out. Y'all the kid. Y'all look, y'all told freaking, oh man, like, hey, I get a told, I quite freaking like, shit, man, shout out, hey, okay, hey, this, so they were there anyway, so I was still young at that time, man, you know what I mean? My nigga Quay, he had to be at home, you know what I mean? So Quay, you grown now though, man. Sorry, man, for putting out your shit out there, but you know what I mean? And so anyway, so they were there. So I rock in, came to the party and shit. I'm lit. So they be looking like, I'm seeing people, homeboys that I, just met, homeboys that I know from back in the days and shit. It's a vibe. Shit, man, I'm lit. You know what I mean? I'm in the dance floor, do me, what. And I'm just observing, right? And then it's like almost towards the end of the night, probably like half an hour before shit pop off. Just probably like an hour, probably. This girl just walks past me. Like, just walks past me. And I swear to God, like, it's just like, my eyes was just never left the side whatsoever, And it was, all I can say for everybody was like love at first, like sight. It's like this, it was like an angel just walking right in front of me at that fucking time. You know what I mean? And the craziest thing, just this beautiful hair, freaking wearing freaking a red top with a white freaking short like skirt. Oh, it was just like we were matching. It was like it was like, and then at a time, you know what I mean? Because the girls, my cousins, they know everybody, you know what I mean? They're Tumba, man. Tumba's their home. Everybody know, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, these are my, my sisters. I'm like, they're like, you tell me who you like or who you feeling, we got you. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got you. I'm like, yeah, okay. And that moment was just, cuz I'm in love with that woman. I want that woman. So, say less. So for the rest of the night, right, I took a step back, you know what I mean? I was like literally blind drink. So, you know what I mean? Like, go on the dance floor, they'd be dancing, we'd be dancing. So I'll be coming, dancing there, but you know what I mean? Trying to keep that cool, but just, you know what I mean? It's just, I don't know how this shit work right now. You know what I mean? Sudanese girls was different. You know what I mean? It was different than freaking how I approach white girls. You know what I mean? It was just, I do not know how to, so I left it in God's hands, man. You know what I mean? I just kept an eye on her all freaking night, man. So the shit. So, the night ended, shit happened, you know what I mean? And the party ended, I was lit. Some dramas, happen there that, was my dumb ass gonna fight my own, like my cousin. I was stupid and shit, and, I was new in town that time. And, when you're new in town these days, wherever you go and shit, it's always like an attraction for, black girls, you know what I mean? Because they're sick of the people in their own town. So they're always attracted to new shit, at that time. So, I was, whatever it is, they were feeling me hard, not be cocky or whatever the fuck it is, but girls, guys, y'all know the deal, you know what it is. So, anyway, at the end of the night, and then we ended up going back to my cousin's house. My boy ended up going back to my cousin's house. We stayed there for the night. And then the next morning, me and my boy driving back to Brisbane. So about halfway, 3/4 of the way there, I get a phone call from my cousin. You know, okay, she's like, yo, that girl said, how come you didn't call her? You see, I don't want to mention the name, you know what I mean, just out of all respect and, you know, for the everything, you know. It's like, that girl, you ain't even call her. I was like, get the fuck out of here, for real. You know what I mean? It's like, that girl was just, she's been on my head all night, bro, morning. I'm like, yo, homeboy, but we gotta go back. So, you know what I mean? So I was like, nah. So I ended up going back to, you know, back to Brisbane, to homeboy's house, Tonga's house. And then you know, I left her hanging. I don't know why. It's just a habit that this thing I have, like, you know, just to see if somebody's pulling my chain, if they be real, whatever. So, you know what I mean? It's like, nah, I ain't gonna call. You know, and then it's like 2 days came. I get a phone call from my cousin. Yo, girl hit me up today. She said you ain't called. I was like, fuck, yo, this girl's really feeling me, bro. She's really feeling me. You know what I mean? I was like, it was just like, I was like a kid at candy shop. Like, yo, bro, I gotta get a Toowoomba to my friend. I'm like, yo, bro, I need to go to Toowoomba, bro. I need to get a Toowoomba. You know what I'm saying? So I ended up going. Somehow, I ended up catching a bus to Toowoomba, right? So remember this. I was only supposed to be in Queensland for a week, right? So, but I didn't book my return ticket because, you know, back in the day, niggas don't book returns. Like, you come one way and then you come book the other way later. You see, that's just how, you know, brothers roll for some reason. I don't know why. So, it's been now, you know what I mean, just over a week, right? So I'm going back to Toowoomba. Go to Toowoomba. And then I go right to the girl's house. I'm like, yeah. So I'm like, all right, cool. I'm going to call her. You know what I mean? When the girl's like, hey, let me go in the room. So I end up anyway just calling her. And it's like, I swear to God, like later on when I looked at the phone, I could not believe in my life. Like 2 hours and some minutes on the phone, right? Like this is something I've never imagined or never even thought. Like what? Like it just whatever it was just like I was just just blown. Whenever I hear a voice, right, and then. These phone calls and conversation, right? So I ended up staying in Toowoomba, like for a minute, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, yo, I was in love. I needed to be close. I can't go back to Canberra. You know, back then I was just like, you know, Canberra, I was just, you know, cover my clothes, man. You know what I mean? So it wasn't like my life was there really and shit, you know what I mean? So I was still trying to find me, you know, where my life was at, you know? So I'm out here now, you know, I gotta wash my clothes, you know, stop buying clothes and, you know, start stealing some of cousin's clothes and shit like that. You know what I mean? Ruben, thank you. So, what was I at? What do you call it? Shit, my bad. You know what I mean? So, yeah, move to Toowoomba, you know, Ken Toowoomba, you know, we start talking and I'm like, these phone calls, I swear it was like, 2 weeks felt like it was like forever. You know what I mean? Before I could like even see this girl, right? But the phone calls were like, I'm talking like, I swear to God, like I can't even imagine, bro, like even right now, like how the hell or what the hell I was talking about. The phone calls that I'll sit there and look, I'm like 5 hours? Next phone call was like a 3-hour phone call. It's like we would sit on the phone for like literally a quarter of our day. On the phone. And it was just something like about it, because, you know, it was just, we know me with people, it was just something just so about it, like, just about it, you know? And then I was still a nigga at that time, you know what I mean? So, you know, get on the phone, you know what I mean? You know, go, you know, find out, go to town. And back then, you know what I mean? Like, I knew, you know, some homies, Blaze and all that. So, you know what I mean? Like, got to meet, you know, the boys in Toowoomba, you know, saying like he the boys. Shout out, man. We need to have a reunion, man, to the Toowoomba town for real, 100. You know what I mean? So you know, got to meet, you know, homies. So, you know, still go there, you know what I mean? And shit, we drink up, we do what? You know, we were young that time, man. It was like, you know, hanging around black niggas, you know, like suited, like my people drinking and shit. It was just like, whoa, you know, because I didn't have that. You know what I mean? Like I grew up around white people. and shit, you know what I mean? So it was my first drinking, my first smoking weed, my first taking drugs and that, you know what I mean? It was all white people to show me, they introduced me into this stuff, you know what I mean? Like I did not know there was no black people and shit, you know what I mean? So I was not influenced by my own people, right? So, and you know what I mean? So, you know, start going out and then it was like, and then I'll come back home, you know, nighttime, and it was just like, I was sitting on the phone for like, till like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. And I want people to understand this, like back then, right? In that, you know, in our times that growing up, especially, you know, 05 to like, you know, 010, 011, or probably like 12, 13 or some shit like that, bro. Probably just shit that just started ending up in like 13 where it started becoming public or something, you know. But it's like back in that time, like the reason why I couldn't even see this girl during this time is because like it's a big thing in our culture. You know, we could not have, you could not just, like how we doing now, like pick up, shut shit. What you doing, babe? Yeah, let me come see you or come see me. It's like, no, everything was like behind closed doors. A girl cannot be with a man unless the whole family know about it and they're going to get married. That is just how it was growing up out here, guys. So let me tease this, you know, the new generation of, you know, how it was for us growing up, you know, trying to get to, you know, out these beautiful black women. This is how protected and how real, you know, shit was back then, you know. So even my girlfriend, right, it's like, you know, back then she had to hide her phone with her older sister. You know what I mean? Because it's like, you cannot be talking on the phone all night. You know what I mean? So you're in the family home, you know, doors are so freaking close, whatever, and all these things. And it's like, girls were so restricted from guys, and you know what I mean? It was not only just education, work, and there was no such thing as mingling with guys, you know. So everything was so like down low. You know what I mean? Like there was no such thing as hoes, gentlemen. You know what I mean? Back the Sudanese, there was no hoes. There was no, you know what I mean? Like girl just, you know what I mean, coming out and whatever, you know, booty calls, and there was none of that shit. You know what I mean? In the Sudanese community, you know, none of that. Now I repeat, none of that. You know, so it was so, you know, so he had to have, you know, if it wasn't white, you weren't getting it in the black. All right? So back then, for me to see her sometimes was, you know, my cousins. This is what I love, right? My cousins, because, you know, they're the community and they know everybody, and you know, the community is so well respected and loved because it just, you know, it is what it is. And so it's like, the only way they can get her to come over, you know what I mean? Because girls cannot just go and hang out with their friends or whatsoever. Everything was, you know what I mean, school. If you're going to get your head done, okay, you can be there for, okay, you're going to get your head done, you know what I mean? After that, you coming back home, you know what I mean? If it's not work, then you coming back home, you know what I mean? Straight to school, straight back home, you know what I mean? Straight to work, straight back home. There was no hanging out. You know what I mean? The only hanging out spot that they had with each other was, you know what I mean, at community events. That was the only time that, you know what I mean, like you can go hang out. You know what I mean? The things that y'all call movies sort of thing was like, no, you're doing this with family and things like that. You know? So it was so difficult for that. You know what I mean? If you're not going with family members, you ain't going. You know what I mean? If your elder brother ain't going, you ain't going. You know what I mean? Because it was just, everything was so protected and everybody was still adapting and growing to this. You know what I mean? So it was hard for us for that, you know? So, but then, you know what I mean, when I got to see her, you know what I mean? So one day, you know, the cousin, you know what I mean, go to you know, come through to get her hair done and that, you know what I mean? And it was just like, it was just being around her and just like, you know what I mean? Even just the smell of her hair, like it was just that time, it was just, it's just something I couldn't explain. You know when they say like just something like you just can't explain the feeling or whatever, you know what I mean? It's just, and you know, it was just being around, like we could be quiet or say a word to each other for like 10 minutes and just, you know what I'm saying? Like for real. And it was just, And it was just always just so beautiful. And then, you know, that would end. She's like, you look beautiful. Like, you know, I'll give her a hug. There was not even kisses yet, guys. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, it wasn't like, none of that shit yet. You know what I mean? It was just, you know what I mean? And just hold that hug. You know what I mean? Just hold them. You know what I mean? Just hold. It's like our souls were connected. You know what I mean? It's like just our souls were connected. You know what I mean? It was just, and, you know, and then you just look at each other in the eye like just, you know what I mean? Like love couldn't even explain the words, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? And she'd go. And then for me, it was just, I'd get back into just, you know, when that moment is done, it's just, I get back into the moment. It's like now, okay, oh, all right, what's homeboys? You know what I mean? Still young, just, you know, still partying, homeboys chilling, whatever, you know, I mean, shit, go out and then we just get lit. And it's just like, I still had this street in me. You know what I mean? It's like I had this street and this love boy on me. You know what I mean? So most of the time, you know what I mean? Because we weren't spending most time together. You know what I mean? Because, you know, probably like once a freaking, you know, when she come to my house to get her hair done, you know, to the family house to get her hair done, or, you know what I mean, she gotta come in, you know, for half an hour to pick up something up, you know what I mean? It's like, you gotta find excuses and things like that, you know what I mean? Or sometimes say like, hey, work shift, you know what I mean, was, you know, they wanted to stay back for an hour so we can just hang out in the freaking car, you know what I mean, for like just, you know, because I would just go and pick her up in my cousin's car, you know, no license, just didn't care, you know, I'm driving back then. And you know what I mean, just go and just sit with her in the car, you know what I mean, and just literally just lie down and just, you know, and just talk and just, you know, it was just, every time I was with her, it's just, it was peace, you know what I mean? Like I didn't have to say a word. I didn't have to think, you know what I mean? Like I didn't have to say nothing, you know what I mean? And it was just, you know, and just everything just, you know, just connected is, you know what I mean? Then she would just lie shoulder, you know what I mean? And hit on my shoulder and it was just so different, you know? It was just, and it was so beautiful, you know? And it was just, I just couldn't explain it, you know? And then as soon as the moment ended, it's just I would get back into my freaking life and then go hang out with the boys. And the crazy shit is, back then it's just because, you know, I was still the new kid, you know what I mean, that, you know, in Toowoomba in the black store, you know, everybody knew about. And back then it was just like, I was just this kid that was just, I always go by my own rules in so many ways, you know, and so it's like, everything had to be like on the low. Only, you know, youngsters know about this and your niggas and shit, you know what I mean? But it's like, I spread my love with this girl, like everywhere I went, it's like, no, I love my girl. I literally, I swear to, with everything. It's like everybody knew. And it's just, we be hanging out, getting lit. Fuck, nah, man, I love my girl. You know what I mean? She would call me. I would leave the freaking day. She go talk on the phone. Leave the, you know what I mean? Leave the freaking shit and go talk on the phone with her. You know what I mean? When that shit's ended, I'd come back and get back in my, you know, party and shit and still girl. And the craziest thing is, when I told with girls, man, these, you know what I mean? Like when we was hanging out, you know, girls would be around all the time and shit too. You know, it's like, so when I always told people and girls like, no, I love my girl. And the fucked up thing is, you know, it's like, because I get so wasted in that time, man, it's like, I'd wake up and, you know, I'd wake up the next day, you know, man, next to a girl, like, damn, like, you know what I mean? Like every time I slept with a girl was because of how much I spread my love for my girl. And it's like, I used to listen to cry about it in front of people. Like, no, fucking, like, why you girls do this shit to me? Like, it was, there's just something I don't understand. Literally, I swear to God on everything, girls take disadvantage of power or when they know something. Like, this is what, from my own experience, because, you know, every time, like, when I have a girlfriend, it's like, girls, you know what I mean? Like, just, yo, cool the fuck out. But you know what I mean? Now we grown, we know that shit, you know what I mean? We ain't doing that shit. But you know what I mean? Back then, it was just like, no, girls, now I got a fucking girlfriend. Until I literally black out, wake up, and, you know, both butt naked, and you know what I mean? It's like, damn. And I'm like, fuck, don't you have a girlfriend? Like, you know, why y'all bitches do this shit to me? Like, I swear to God, it used to be something that literally frustrated me because the love literally that I have for this woman was, it's just, I don't know, alcohol just always overpowered me. Like when I black out or whatever situation is this, it just, I do not understand, but it really just took the power of that, and I think that's why I had to really learn how to control my freaking alcohol, because to be honest, on everything I love, I have been raped by women. You know what I mean? It's like, it's hard for men, not hard, it's hard for people to believe in men saying that, and shit, but so many times in my life growing up as a kid, I've been raped by freaking women. I'm like, yo, girls, no, I'm not sleeping with you. You know what I mean? By white women, black women, like, and it's part of growing up where sit there and say, like, I've had enough. You know what I mean? Like, got done too much of that shit I didn't want, shit that I wanted. You know what I mean? It's like, it's being offered on the table, being there, being, dusted and done. It's like, we've grown now. But, going back to that was just the love and the heartfelt for this woman was beyond the crazy, and it went for like over 8 months, 8 months and shit, right? Periods, we never slept with it. We never slept together. You know what I'm saying? But every time just when I was with her, it was never, like, I never even thought about the sleeping with her. Like, it was like, I wanted to, when she's ready, it's like, no, we both need to be ready for this. This is beyond, this is fucking special. Like, it's just, I couldn't, it's like, sometimes when I used to tell homies, and she's like, yo, we was like, for a year, bro. It's like, what? I'm like, nah, for real. And, even that, even the first time that, because, let's say being man, like, is, I said, look, you try, and then, not comfortable, so I literally let that go and just let it wait for when she was ready. And then almost a year, and I never even, and I was still, doing all that dumb shit, you know what I mean? But I guess back then there was no social media, there was no, all this and shit, and, so, there was no much, selfies, hanging out with these bitches, hanging out with this, whatever, you know what I mean? It was just, there was no 2 million snitches, or whatever, you know what I mean? But it was not me looking at like no snitches, it was just like, yo, I really love this woman, and I don't want to be, I felt like people took advantage of that shit. They took advantage of me, you know what I mean? They took advantage of me, especially when I was drunk and shit, But, and so and then, like, even when she thought that she was ready, it's like, I felt then like I wasn't even ready. It's like I had to, like, no, babe, like, I don't think we're ready for this, but it's like, I just wanted, just whenever she just hugged me, I just, just wanted to hold it for forever. It's like, I just never wanted to let it go, and, it was crazy, all right? And then there was one time, it was her 17th birthday, right? We're young, remember this, we young love, I think I was about like 19, so don't get it twisted, 18 to 19, you know what I mean? So, young love, right? And it was their 17th birthday, and and that night, that evening too, there was a Sunnis community thing in Toowoomba going on, like Sunnis party and shit. You know what I mean? It was his 17th birthday, you know what I mean? So, nigga, and back then at that time, I was broke as fuck. I'm talking about broke as fuck. I'm talking about broke as fuck, nigga. I was waiting for my Centrelink check, man. You know what I mean? Like, I was not, back at that moment, yeah, I was not dealing. I was not doing none of that shit. I was broke as fuck. So I'm sitting there waiting on paycheck and shit like that. And then, so I was like, fuck, how am I going to get, so my Centrelink pay came in anyway, just for her birthday anyway. So, had the whole thing. I'm like, I'm going to spend this whole shit on her, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I went and looked. I'm like, got like this bracelet, nice necklace, with some flowers and shit. You know what I mean? And then, hide out at this fucking restaurant, I'm talking about. I looked in the remember we're looking Yellow Pages. See, I'm looking at Yellow Pages, bro. You know what I mean? So I'm looking like fly, like looking for the restaurants, Toowoomba. You know, looking for the flies, motherfucking restaurant. You know, I'm like, yep. Looking like call this shit up, looking this like, oh wait, no, Weblands are live, man. Some kind of shit. I'm like, yep, bang, call this up. I book a reservation and shit for that night, right? So, and then. Mine is right. I just spent all my fucking money on their presents, you know. So I'm like, fuck. I forgot about dinner. So, oh shit. So I had to ring out some of the homies, man. Shout out to Blaze and PI, man. Much nigga, I don't know. Hey, niggas, we got times. You know what I mean? So I had to ring out these fools, man. My niggas, y'all, man, my nigga, I need some money, man. Like I got a restaurant, shit, nigga, like y'all broke as fuck. I need some money. You know what I mean? So, all right. So my niggas came through, man. You know what I mean? So they give me like, you know, but like I like, man, like, you know, 120 or something like that. You know what I mean? So, you know, back then, shit, that's a lot of money, man. Fall back, y'all. I was like, shit, nigga, that's nigga, you know how many times I go to McDonald's with this money? So like, you know, that's a lot of fucking, you know, back then, like, all right, cool. So remember this, I ordered the Flies restaurant, right? And back then, like, I never been to no restaurant, you know, like them kind of restaurants and shit. Cause, you know, niggas back then, you know, go to McDonald's, KFC, Hungry Jacks, man. You know what I mean? Like, shit, high, see movies, you know, best I could do, you know, get you some popcorn. But, so, you know, ended up anyway. And then they come give me the money, right? And then my cousin AJ, shout out, you know, AJ, he was my driver. He was a driver for the night, you know what I mean? So we go, yo, my girl, she get ready, you know. So I go to her house, you know. Remember this, I had to pick her out like 2 streets down and shit, because, you know what I mean? Like, this is how it works. You know, you can't pick them up at our house. It was not in our generation. So it'd be like 2 streets down, pick her up, drop back 2 streets down. You know what I mean? So like, where you go? You know, friend's house. And she said, you know, they drop me out, go, you know what I mean, call a cab, whatever. So pick her up. Oh, she's looking fine, man. So we sit in the back seat, you know what I mean? My cousin, shout out, driving. So we go, drop us back to the restaurant, you know what I'm saying? We pull up. Like, man, like, you know, I would, you know, open the door, you know, we didn't see Young Love, you know, open the door and everything, right? We end up going into the restaurant, you know, waiter come sit us down and shit. Oh, man, they got this live band playing, man. It was beautiful, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, it was just right and shit, you know? So, pull out and sit us down, you know, so we sit down. You know, they give us a menu and shit. Like, okay, so I look at the menu, right? And it's like, you know what I'm about to say, like, you know, when you look at something, sometimes like you just want to click in your eyes of like the price ain't right. Like, so, all right, I'm looking at this shit, I'm like, so you got the entree, and then you gotta, you know, order your main, and you know what I'm saying, and then you could order your drinks, you know, that type of shit. You know how it come when, you know, in restaurants and shit. So, I don't know how this shit's working out. So I'm like, okay, babe, what you want? I remember this, only had 120. Babe, what you want? Right? Okay, you know, I get this. You know, I'm looking, okay, yeah. Hey, all I'm seeing is, you know, whatever she's saying, all I'm seeing is the price, right? Because, you know, remember this, I'm looking at my pocket, you know what I mean? She's fucked up. All right. So, yeah. All right. Get that. You know, I'm still looking like, I'm still looking, babe. All right. Now, what are your main two, babe? So, you know, bring the thing. All right. So, she ordered a main. And then, you know, I ordered a drink too. You know what I mean? So, I'm like, yeah, order me a drink too. Man, I'm adding this shit up, man. It's like, this shit got to like $90 before I even ordered anything else. You know what I mean? This is just her side, her main, and our drinks on my side. And this is really fucking, remember I got like 120. Right? I'm like, holy fuck. Right? So, I'm playing cool, you know what I mean? You know, he's going, I'm like, dang. You know when you stop playing it all, you know what I mean, for a minute, like, fuck, I shouldn't have ate, babe, man, like, babe, I know it's your day, you know, and I just literally just wanted to take you out, you know, and, you know, just like, he just must I ate some crazy shit before, you know what I mean? Like I didn't think it was still, you know what I mean? Like I feel like ate too much. You know what I mean? Like start breaking it down, you know, and I just ate this, you know what I mean? She's like, share mine. I was like, nah, man, I'm full. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? So saying that, so I just started eating it this slow to watch thing. But babe, this man, I'm fucked, right? And nah, you know what I mean? I'm full shit, you know. So we're talking. You know, she eating. She didn't even eat the whole thing. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? She only ate half. You know what I mean? She's enjoying. And she just want to go outside, enjoy the music, and just lie on my shoulder. I'm like, all right. I'm sitting there looking like, damn, man. You know, I'm looking at play like you gonna finish that, like fuck, man. I was fucking hungry as a motherfucker, y'all. Hopefully, anyway. So we end up, finishing and sitting the drink, and then go outside. You know what I mean? It's playing the band. We outside. We got these, them Christmas lights. Them carols sort of thing and shit. And they got them like the chair by like the garden sort of thing. You know that beautiful thing by the garden, and that how Toowoomba be like the Garden City. That's why they call it Garden City. Be sitting there beautifully, and I'm just like, all right, we go sit down. And then I pull out the present. He pull out a bracelet, open it, put it in their hands. Oh my God, put it in their neck, and it was just, and then it's like, then we kissed, like, you know what I mean? It was just, it was just that moment. It was just like, you know what I mean? Like, like the night was a success. You know what I mean? It's like the night was a success. My budget and everything or whatever the fuck, it was a success. And now I'm waiting for my cousin to come pick us up, right? So my cousin come, pick us up, I end up jumping her back home. Just end the street, you know what I mean? 2 streets down. Shit, I'm going in. Man, I tell my cousin, go to fucking McDonald's. I was so fucking hungry that because I was broke. I couldn't afford, to eat with her. I wanted to eat that damn food. But it was I was so hungry, went straight to McDonald's, bro. I ordered a fucking the double quarter pounder milk and a cheeseburger, bro, on top of that shit, bro. And it was just egg. It was just that food. You understand the hunger in the fucking brother, man. It was beyond, but the night was a success. You know what I mean? The night was a success. And and then after that ended up going back to the party that was freaking going on down in the freaking hole in Toowoomba there, getting lit, back with the homies, and and back to the routine, But it's like every time I'm with this girl, it's just the moments, you know what I mean? It's just you. It's just you is all I see. It's just you, that's all I see. And back then, I got a shirt made. I was one of these, nigga that time went and got a shirt made with me and her. One of the photos that we took was I swear to God, I kept this shirt for it was 10 years, man. You know what I mean? It was always under my freaking shit. You know what I mean? It was just that specialized where I frame it one day for the first love. You know what I mean? I always just, because, the first love will always have that thing, part in your heart. You know what I mean? It's just, they showed you fucking new experience to the world, you know what I mean? New experience to life, to love, to whatever the fuck it is, they giving you. So you never forget, So I had this shirt made, but I used to wear it, out, we were fucking niggas and shit like that, you know what I mean? Going out, but cause I was just, and every, you know what I mean? And it was one day, it was Christmas, right? And we having freaking Christmas barbecue one of the homeboys' house there in Toowoomba and shit, you know what I mean? The whole neighborhood niggas come. You know how it is back in Toowoomba, niggas have a barbecue, the whole neighborhood come. So, homies come and shit, right? And I'm wearing this shirt. I'm wearing this freaking shirt that I got dang me and her, you know what I mean? And freaking just, and a button undone and shit, you know what I mean? So it look fresh, all macked out and that, right? Blue and white Jordans and things, right? So I remember this shit vividly, we on the bar, we chilling in the back, right, drinking and shit. Next time I'm taking the skull, I look down, I seen the brother of my girl walk right in. Before I ever noticed everything, it was just, this shirt that I had wearing came off quicker than your hat could have came off. right? This shirt came off that quick before you even thought taking your hat off. I'm putting that shit down. You know, and the reason for that is I do like, you know, it was just I did not know how to tell the brother. You know, me and him, we were tight. You know, I mean, we were real tight. And the family connection is beyond crazy. You know what I mean? To, you know, moms know that and their families and things. You know what I mean? It's beyond crazy. So, and it's just like, for me, it's just like, I do not know how to tell him. You know what I mean? But it's like, he always knew. It's like, yo, man, you always talking about what you, like, dude, just love you, girl, man. When you gonna, like, and I just did not know how to tell him. And I'm sorry for that, man. You know what I mean? This is actually, like, to be honest with you, man, to the brother, my first love, man, you know who we are. I just want to say sorry for that, man, you know. And I don't know, it's this thing that I seem to have, like, I just have this respect so much that's like, I just want to tell him right. And I'll always just try to keep my distance and respect and sort of, you know what I mean? It's just, it's hard to tell your brother, man, that, you know what I mean, that, you know, you seeing his sister, you know what I mean, think, but like, it's hard, you know, it's hard, you know what I mean? So it's like one of the hardest things for me to ever do, even to this day. Still, I find it hard for me, you know what I mean, to my brother, like, I'm seeing your sister, it's like, it's so hard, you know what I mean? It's like, it's beyond, you know, people don't understand, it's like, there's levels to this shit, you know what I mean? There's levels to this shit, you know what I mean? So for me to get to that, it's like, and it's like, once I love, man, and 2 years, and we're together now, let's say about 2 years. And a lot of times is we saw each other, and, you know, a lot of times that I seen her, it was on Sundays. And this is why black people, you know, a lot of niggas back in the days used to go to church. This is why I used to go to church. Right? Sundays was the only, you know, place I could see her every week. Every single week on Sundays. So I have to go to church. When I go to church, I give my cousins the flowers, the girls. You know what I mean? You know what it is. They go, you know what I mean? They'll go give it, you know what I mean? And we just sit there and just, you know, like, you know, she'll sit front with fam, you know what I mean? Nigga, we come, keep you in the back, you know what I mean? And they know, you know what I mean? When niggas walk in and shit, everyone in the church turns around. You know when everyone in the church turns around and shit? It's, you know what I mean? When a group of people walking in from the back, and this is how niggas just do it all the time. You know what I mean? It's like, they would just walk in like, you know what I mean? And it's like, shit, niggas are lit, niggas are high, niggas are what? You know what I mean? We're coming in to see the shorties, you know what I mean? To see our girls. And beyond crazy, you know? And, oh man, but just, you know what I mean? Just that generational era of just, you know, and then going to parties, and then you know how it is, you know, we go to parties, you know what I mean? You know, we dance and shit. And, you know, back then, it was like, how with dancing was, guys, literally, you know how they showed you by the 1980s, like, you keep your distance. Not like how we all doing this shit now and shit, you know what I mean? Like, bumping and grinding on the fucking dance floor and shit, but, you know what I mean? This was like, you keep your distance and shit, you know what I mean? It's like all respect and love, you know what I mean? It's like your souls would just, but you know what I mean? You were just there, you know what I mean? Your souls, you know, it's like, you were just magically just in that thing, you know what I mean? But it's like your rhythm was just you. Like, you know, and it's crazy, you know what I mean? Like, this is, and then some got out, some did the sneaks, you know what I mean? And then, you know, in our generation there, you know, on that time, man, you know what I mean? The ones, you know, you're not, you know, me getting pregnant, and, you know, with the guys, you know, I mean, they were very, you know, look like, yo, what the fuck family were, yo, this is marriage, you know what I mean? It was coming with, when you seen somebody whose marriage was what it was ringing bells, you know what I'm saying? So that's why back then everything was, you know, had to be undercover, but, you know what I mean? And just the respect and the, you know what I mean, like the love that we have for them, like, and, you know, it's like, I never seen like girls fighting against girls back then and shit, you know what I mean? And like, and it was wild, man, you know what I mean? But that first love, man, and then not even that, you know what I mean? Before anything is, then I loved her so much is I went and, you know, saved up all my Centrelink money for fucking months and months and months, and went and got a ring for like $800 or something. Hey, back then was a lot of motherfucking money, so people don't look at me. All right, I mean, I ain't telling you the price anyway. So it was like $860 or something. I went and bought a ring, right? And beyond, yeah, everybody know about, family, everybody know, and I want to buy a ring, and it's just like I wanted to propose to her, and it's I love like this is it. This was the one, right? So I went and got a ring, and everywhere I was rehearsing it, you know what I'm saying? When niggas be sitting there rehearsing, like, how am I gonna do this shit? You know what I mean? And I was a nigga like, you know what? Stuff. So, and where am I gonna do it? Back then, you know what I mean? So we can't sit there and go try like have this romantic take her on a getaway and all this shit. Like, you know what I mean? Remember this? This is like secret love, like, you know what I mean? But I didn't really look at it like that. You know what I mean? At the time, I'm just like, no, I'm just in love. You know what I mean? I was just blinded by everything. So I was like, fuck, I'm gonna do it. Like, babe, yeah, you work. So I went and proposed to her at her work. Went and jumped on one knee, you know what I mean, at her work, you know what I mean, because, she was a waitress, you know what I mean, she was, waitress and chef. She did this for a minute, you know what I mean, while she was studying uni, man. This is one of the smartest girl, man, I know, man, you know what I mean. So shout out to her, and how her life is turning out, beautiful kids now, man, you know what I mean, happily married and everything, you know what I'm saying. So, I'm very respectful and very, lovingly and, as a human being, you know what I mean? It's like, I could just, I look at it like with the blessings, like, thank you, you know what I mean? Like my exes, all I can do to them is like say, thank you. And I literally love y'all as, you know what I mean? As a person, I just want the best for y'all, you know what I mean? Because y'all have taught me something. It's like, I can love and like, what do I want now? I can go and, put that on to the next, But yeah, I went and proposed to her at her work. And remember this young love, man. This is, DT. How many niggas, shit, secretly shit, you know what I mean? And it was just, flowers, and it's like, it's like, to me, it's like, it's like, it's like a yes, say yes, you know what I mean? Like, and I love, and then what came, at the time we was together, I was still like, I said, so there's still that young dude still fucking running around, running amok when we're not together. Like when I'm not with her, when I'm not with her, I'm hanging out with the boys. I'm, hanging out and getting, hanging out with other girls and shit. There's so much things, my life that I could say that, I regret it and, I could have done better. It's like, no, I shouldn't have done that, but it's like, this were things that we learn from and, how we can better off in our lives and things. So, but it's like, it was, gutting, just, just said yes. And then it was like things were going down. It was like, she knew, but I didn't, because I was just so blinded, like she seen it, she knew everything that was going, even niggas, hanging out with girls, fucking girls, whatever situation. She knew this. And then, but the big thing was, the family problem. Now, somehow the family found out. Now, this became a freaking community motherfucking thing, right? When the family found out, this became a damn community thing. And when it become a community thing, even your fucking great-great-parents are going to find out in Sudan, back in Africa. So, the family and everything came out. So this became like, you know what I mean? And back then, because I was this kid that came from Canberra, with straight, out of jail and, had bad, history and shit, didn't have a really good, clean record. It's like I was looked at this bad boy, So that was what I was given and shit. So, and so that really came in and it really affected and ruined us, where she had to come and break it down, where I understand now. Back then I didn't understand, And the thing is, with so much love and respect for her is, she's the only woman that's probably ever done this, literally, just, when it sat down and, like to have lunch and, we have like, I want to talk to you. And then we go and sit down, and just literally, tell me like, I love you as a person and this and, but this can't, we can't have, this can't go on no more than that, to break up with me in her face and, still, in a humanity way where it's like you have to take it, but you know, it's like you're so broken and just, you know, it's like I was so broken where nothing made sense. You know, at that time, like it's just, it's like that thing, that feeling, everything. You know what I mean? It was just like you taking this away. You know what I mean? It's just like it was just that feeling that I had that that she gave me. I just was just whatever it was, the soul. I do not even know. It's why even soul sometimes, and soul can hang out until connect, and it's just I've cried so much, I've cried and broken so much, where it was just, I could say it in my next episode about it, but it's like that way depression. I don't know, what depression, but we'll get into that another time. But the way that I was feeling, was like it's like I was beat down. It was like something was taken away from me, was snatched from inside and literally taken away from me. And I didn't know, and just I took that away and, took on to my daily life, because when I was with, like that feeling there was when it fucked with me onwards, be hanging out with homies, and it was just like, I felt like something was missing, like this piece of me was gone, and for years, it took years for me to get over that, where I had to move back to Canberra. I had to move back to Canberra after we broke up. I had to move back towards family, towards people that, like close, whatever situation. Like, I had to move back to Canberra to get over that. And I didn't date you for 4 years. After that, 3 to 4 years. See, I'm a person that when I look at like all my I'm not a relationship man. I mean, I'm a relationship man, because once I get in a relationship, this is how I look at it. I'm with you for I'm with you for life. You're not getting out of this. I'm not getting out of this. This is what the fuck it is. We're gonna fight. We're gonna what? We're gonna get over it. We're gonna we're gonna make up. We're gonna get go through this. This is how I think. Just look at life. I think maybe because of the way that I was raised. With my mama. You know what I mean? If you're not here, whatever situation, we get through it. And that's why I could always say I've only probably had like 4 girlfriends in my life. The rest we don't call, they were not girlfriends. We didn't know about it, not girlfriends. But back then, and niggas be like, I got, 4 or 5 girlfriends, like. There was a title, given like that's my girlfriend. It's like that's your fault. That's probably somebody else's third, somebody else's second. You know what I'm saying? This numbers now will just So yeah, it was a bit like that. So, but man, that love, man, and man, all I can say is, man, it's like. Take the lessons, from everybody. Look back in your first love, because take the lessons from that, right? Because at the end of the day, I look at it like if you hate your ex, then you have not, you still have something, some sort of something that like you're not letting go, because like. You need the forgiveness for your own self, I believe. Like, it's for your own love. And it's like, you see them too. And it's like, even like friendly. When people say like, yeah, I forgive him. And you know what I mean? But I'm not going to talk to him. It's like, no. You know what I mean? It's like, the love, but it's differently. You know what I mean? It's like, I love you as a human being. You were a part of my life. How can I just sit there, it's like, say, I fucking hate you, ever again. When I loved you. So that's something that I don't understand when people are like, oh, how can you be friends with your ex? Or how can you be this? Like, I'm friends with all my exes. I'm just sleeping. I'm even, everything comes by how we look at it, or how you as a human look at it. So if you're gonna look at it like, oh, usually with them, that's how you looking at it. But that is not the picture that's that it is right here. You know what I'm saying? That's the picture that you see. You know what I'm saying? Someone else that knows a picture, sees something different. So it's like we all see the same thing, but we don't really see the same thing. It's like we have these, imaginations of what we think, like what's going on or what it is. Everyone's like, yeah, oh shit, girls, when it was like, yeah, I thought that, what you thought maybe it's not what it is. So yeah, it's like I have love for him in that, so what I can say is, man, is that my first love, is I needed that, and I got engaged, like I put it, so it's like for the next, like, so that helped me for the next round, for the next fucking one, and that's where it came. It took time, and I say for the girls, man, everything take time, because if we gonna be together, that's it, it's a wrap, so if you ain't in it for the long run, then all right, just dip, we can just kick it, this is, because, I understand it's I look at it and respect and will treat you and love you. And the moment that we're together, the moment will always be about you and I. Or it's you, between be just about you. I just want to see you smile. I just want to, we go out, wherever we go, you just get something to eat. So I want to make you laugh. I just, it's just, it's about you. And then, when we're not together, when you go home, you go home or your family or whatever, and then it's like, I'm back, in my zone, I'm back this, It's like, it's like the moment is different, You know how people always did that thing, like, even when I'm having this moment, some girls be like, well, you should be thinking about me or you should have thought about me. It's like, the moments we're together, that's when I, be vibing, Or when I'm thinking about you, a moment will come to my head like, yo, shit, all right, can't wait till I see her. And it makes that more special when I see you. So I think that I grew up getting used to see my girl like probably like once a week or once like every fortnight or some shit. You know what I'm saying? And then, it's like I grew up with it. It's crazy when you think that. But it's wild, man. So yeah, that was me, my love story, my first love. I hope y'all enjoy that. And that was after I got out of jail, you know what I mean? And, and then I can't wait to tell y'all about the, the next time, the next one, the next part of my journey in my life, where, get into this and get into depression and all that freaking shit, and how I overcame it. So that's for the next run, man. So I hope, y'all got tuned into the story and y'all enjoyed it a little, y'all enjoyed it a little bit. I didn't take too much of your time. Let me say, as you can tell right now, I'm vibing a little bit, so the story got a little bit more interesting. I can get more deep, you know what I'm saying? So ain't nothing, rehearsed or, scripted out here. You know what it is. It's straight up facts, life, man, just going through reminiscing, man. So I appreciate y'all, man, and thank you for vibing with me, man, on Black City, man. It's your boy DT, man. Peace, and we out, man. Toast to the next. Welcome to Black City.
It's a bit of both. Something you can kick back and listen to.
Listen, if you guys want to talk, I ring ABC to handle you.